Welcome to a special Midnight's Edge After Dark.
That's right. Tom's got his best NPR voice on right now. So, hi everybody. Robot Shlomo coming to you from Shabby Road Studios. And we are joined by, as always, Mr. Tom Connors.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever time it is where you're at.
The boss man is actually here, Mr. Andre.
Greetings, everyone.
And, of course, we are joined by your favorite YouTube Harpy? Favorite YouTube Harpy, Miss Mecha Random.
Yeah. Boss's time is valuable.
Time is valuable. Okay, so I learned something today. I learned that there's something called Red Dwarf, which is not Peter Dinklage with a sunburn.
I made you watch like half of the first episode.
Yeah, and I forgot about it.
Evidently wasn't enough.
No, I should have jumped in on.
I get a lot of use out of that.
Evidently so. But yes, Red Dwarf is going to be back in April, actually, with a special. It's like an hour and a half long special, so it's not a new season, but a special, and that's something that all fans of Red Dwarf will surely look forward to. But then you have the not-fans like Rob, and those who don't even know what the hell Red Dwarf is. So before we get into what Red Dwarf is and why you should be watching, let's first begin with, what does Red Dwarf mean to you? And do you even know of it? Tom, let's begin with you.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a few episodes here and there. I've not seen a ton. I know it was on PBS in the US. I seen it maybe a handful of times. I thought it was pretty funny. I've never been able to follow the actual story, though, obviously. But yeah, you and Mecca know much more about it than I do. But I always found it pretty entertaining.
Rob, did you find Red Dwarf entertaining?
I saw 20 minutes of it. I have no idea.
Basically, you have no idea what it even is.
Yeah, I mean, okay. I guess it's good. I don't know. I didn't see enough of it to make a judgment.
And Mecca, what does Red Dwarf mean to you, and how have you failed so miserably in getting Rob into it?
He doesn't ever want to watch anything. Well, okay, I'm also bad at selling anything on anything, so that's probably my bad. I should have jumped him in instead of the very beginning. I should have jumped him in later. I love Red Dwarf, absolutely love it. I have been to the UK and seen Danny John Jules, who plays the cat on the show. I've seen him in person at a convention in the UK. I knew about the previous season a few years ago before that came back. I knew that they were planning stuff from then. Love Red Dwarf, hate that they might, or that those little fake 4chan leaks that they were saying, I knew specifically that one was there to trigger me because I absolutely love the show. Edie is kind of the epitome of sci-fi comedy in a lot of ways, and it does its job really well, and it's very consistent to its own canon. I just love it. I love everything about it.
Yeah, awesome. And as for me, I love Red Dwarf. It's awesome. I like Red Dwarf the same way that I like Evil Dead. To me, this is the sci-fi version of Evil Dead. It's obviously a Star Trek parody, and it's a Star Trek parody that is soon going to get its Star Trek equivalent, because Star Wars Lower Decks, what is that, if not the Star Trek remake of Red Dwarf?
Yeah, that's exactly what we thought when we were at the convention. They're just describing Red Dwarf.
I'll tell you what Star Trek Lower Decks is. It's an act of desperation. That's what it is.
Yeah, that also reminds me, Rob, you are familiar with someone in our community who goes by the handle Angry Mr. Flibble or something thereof. Yes.
Yes, I've seen the name on Twitter. Yes, sir.
Yes. That is actually from Red Dwarf. You see the guy in the picture right here, the smug-looking one with the H on his forehead?
Okay, yeah, that's
Angry Mr.
Flibble.
Flibble is his alter ego.
Okay,
Don't make him
Where he
mad,
ma-
or Uncle Arnie will fry you with his hex vision.
he has
Okay,
see,
but
a couple. He has a couple drinks at the pub. And kind of, Jekyll and Hyde comes out.
Actually,
that
the
kind
Angry Mr. Flibble's the puppet, isn't it?
Okay.
From what I remember.
yeah, that's true. But it was his alter ego that was
Yeah.
was the puppet master of that puppet. But yeah. But anyway, there is a new teaser out, and we've all seen the teaser. Now I'm curious, especially Rob, what's your reaction to that? You've never really seen any Red Dwarf, and now we have this teaser, which is basically just generic, relatively lo-fi sci-fi imagery with some voiceovers. What did you think about that? When you saw that, what does it make you feel?
I loved it. It was much better than Cats. I'm going to see it again and again.
It's funny you should mention Cats.
Yeah, the one guy is a cat. He evolved from a kitty cat.
Like I said, I have no frame of reference. I mean, like I said, I can't make a judgment on it either way. I mean, some of the sci-fi stuff looked cool.
I mean, come on. There's a character in this show that parachutes out of a plane on the back of an alligator? What else? Oh God, now I'm forgetting it. It's been so. Yeah, so Mug Me a Kipper. I'll be back for breakfast. What else is he riding? What else is Ace Rimmer riding on his way down? It's an alligator, right? Or is it a croc?
Oh, I don't remember right now. The second, it's been years since I watched it because
Yeah,
I've seen everything up until season 9, and I actually couldn't make it through Back to Earth, and I haven't seen anything since. But of course, I'm gonna get back to it now in preparation of this. So that's gonna be pretty cool then. But okay, anyway, so you don't really know what to expect, Tom. What you saw the trailer. What did you think about it?
I mean, if you're a diehard fan, I could see this as just to get you excited. But for somebody who's more of a casual fan, or at least knows a little bit about it, and looking at it from that angle, they should have done something to really hit home that this show is kind of a comedy, especially in the age of Orville. I think that was kind of a missed opportunity. But again, this is just a teaser trailer. This isn't even supposed to happen till when?
April.
Okay, well, then they should have probably... Well, we should get more than that. Hopefully there's another trailer or two that'll give away, what the show is a little bit more, so then maybe you can get people on board to watch the old show to get ready for this, like you were kind of saying, Andre, like you were gonna, and people like Rob who are completely, oblivious to it really, but it honestly is something that's up Rob's alley. I mean, he would probably enjoy it quite a bit, I think.
Oh, Rob's gonna love it, I think. Mecca, your thoughts on the teaser?
Well, it looks a lot like some of the later stuff when they're just out in the Starbug in the galaxy, kind of having to survive after what happened? Did they lose the ship? It's been so long since I've seen it too. I remember loving it. I've only watched it through a couple of times, and I remember them being, so much of it was them out there almost exploring space in a lot of ways. So it looks like, didn't they have some enemy that they were being chased by for a few episodes in some of I want to say season 7 and 8 and 9. But it's been so long. The most recent thing I saw was when I think they did come back to Earth, and then they ended up, I can't remember, they ended up like meeting themselves, their own actors. Like the character Lister meets Craig Charles on Coronation Street, or they have like half of them. It's been so long since I've seen that one too. It's been a while, but I love them. I gotta rewatch them.
Yeah, me too. As for me, I really enjoyed the teaser. And for those that don't get it, obviously it's meant to be a parody on Star Trek. It's a parody for like the voice-over trailers that we've seen for the J.J. Abrams era Star Wars trailer, where you have like the sci-fi imagery and you have these voiceovers that's meant to be epic and play all the emotional strings, and here they just take the piss out of it. Which to me, since again, harking back to what Tom said, because I know what Red Dwarf is, it's absolutely perfect. It just goes to show that, yeah, they still got it, or at least hopefully they still got it. But they know what they are. They know that they're a parody of Star Trek first and foremost. So let's get into this then, because Rob, you evidently aren't fully aware of what Red Dwarf is. And basically, imagine that you have, I'm not going to say Starfleet, let's instead go to Alien. You have like
Yeah,
this shipping
Alien's
in
closer.
space. Yeah, you have like this shipping company that's working in space and everything like that. And there you have all the people working on it, right? You have like this huge space core. And in this space core, the two most useless freaking people, the engineers who aren't really engineers, the people whose responsibility it is to make sure that the soda machine doesn't run out of soda for the real people. They are the only ones left alive. It's more complex than that, but basically they're the only ones left alive on the whole ship in after a disaster that wipes out the rest of the crew, and they then find themselves lost in space 3 million years into the future. And then what the hell do they do? How do they
Well, he
keep
tried to
sane?
get back to Earth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So basically, that's the setup, and it's a Star Trek parody. And as I said, it's this much the same kind of humor that you have going in Evil Dead. So if I have to compare it with something else, I'd say that this is like the sci-fi version of Army of Darkness. Is the comparison that I would draw. Full
He
of
finally
glitches
saw
here
Army
and
of
everything.
Darkness.
Yeah, I did like Army of Darkness.
Yeah, if you like Army of Darkness, you're gonna like this because it's much the same kind of humor. Not the gore, but like, but in terms of like what it is, that is kind of like a parody. This is kind of like the same thing.
Yeah, very tongue in cheek, a lot of
Yeah.
British humor, but like I said, it's right up your alley.
Yeah. So what I'm thinking with the upcoming animated Star Trek Lower Decks, to me that looks like just a polished version of Red Dwarf because it's basically the same concept. Only difference is that these guys, as far as we know, they're just there at the bottom of the ladder. They're not going to be the only ones running the ship. But it's like the
Well, and we can speak from firsthand experience when we were at Star Trek Las Vegas. There's like zero interest in lower decks. I mean, there was like every one of the panels was almost chock full of people with people lined up to ask questions, even the technical ones. Lower decks comes up, everybody leaves the room.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally the only people standing at the microphone were Rob, me, somebody
Yards.
else, Trek Yards, and the other person left besides Trek Yards and us.
And the one woman who asks everybody the same question about what book they read. But no, this is exactly what it is because the way they pitched Lower Decks at the convention was that you have kind of like the big screw up who like the guy on the far right. He's basically the Lister type, and the green girl, the alien girl, is basically this overachiever. She's very much by the books. I think both of the female characters.
So she's the Rimmer, female
yes,
Rimmer then.
Very much so.
Yeah.
And you've got your cyborg sort of guy. So I guess he's going to be.
There you got Crichton.
Mm-hmm. So I guess the other girl's gonna be the cat.
Yeah, female cat. There you got the whole fucking crew. Yeah, it's under Kurtzman. There's been loads of plagiarism or tribute or what have you not in Star Trek. I see that. Yeah, I see that the homaging is not ending anytime soon.
And that one looked like the most Star Trek too. That one looked like the most enjoyable, the most entertaining, the most well written, the most cohesive. You know how like Picard and
well, it seemed like the guys that were making it actually cared about canon.
Yeah, and they care about keeping it consistent within their own stories. They seem to be a cohesive team, at least. You know, this is the only one that actually had the writers out. All the writers for Picard and Discovery are just a big disjointed mess of, like, you know, no one knows who's in charge. And we've heard that on multiple occasions from multiple
what are you
sources.
supposed to do when you got 27 producers?
Exactly. Nobody knows who's in charge. Is Kurtzman in charge? Is Shaban in charge? Is Michelle Paradise in charge now? Do we go to her, even though she's on the other show? Like, that's not so much the case on Lower Decks. Lower Decks looked like it was a clear team. They had a clear chain of command. They had the team leader was the guy from Rick and Morty. He seemed to be pretty level-headed. He seemed to be pretty diplomatic. I was actually impressed by them.
Yeah, and if they've seen Red Dwarf, then they basically have their source material in place.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, Rob. So what are you going to be doing about this?
Probably trying to squeeze some episodes in between between playing Grand Theft Auto, I guess. I don't know.
Just put it on the background.
That's
It's
awesome.
good. I mean, it's entertaining. It's funny British humor.
I'd rather, when I watch something, I'd rather commit myself to it, without any other distractions.
Yeah.
That's true.
The beauty is that it's British seasons. They're like 6 episodes a season, so it's like a whole season you can plow through in 3 hours.
Exactly.
So all you have to do is commit to the first season, if you just to see what it's about, and that's less than 3-hour commitment. That's the whole first season done.
It's all right. Doesn't sound too difficult.
Yeah, I think
And just
you
double
can.
speed it.
Yeah, I'm sure that your game will forgive you.
I started sourcing vehicles. I can get to make some big money with it now. Oh yeah. I'll try. I'll do what I can. Yeah.
Anyway, that's really all I had to say. We have to try to convert Rob into something that I think that he's going to enjoy, so that we all can tear apart Lower Decks when that comes out. I hope it's going to be fun, but it's going to be even more fun to see the comparisons to Red Dwarf.
Well,
good.
the one thing that really stuck out to me on the Lower Decks panel was when they touched on the fact that it is in the next gen era, and there is a good possibility that we could see next gen characters pop up. So I mean, there is that plausibility, but then again, do we really care? It's a cartoon. That are we supposed to take it seriously? Is it sad that we're sitting here saying, as far as we could tell, the only ones that give a shit about continuity or how things look or how things work are the cartoon people?
Well, it's certainly sad for the state of Star Trek.
And they can't be spending that much money on Lower Decks. I mean, they're certainly not pumping in the 9 million plus per episode like they did.
No, all they had to show us was like these little flash animations, like what you see here. All they had going on was something like this on the screen, and then like the background where the stars are would be moving, and the people's eyes would be blinking, and that'd be it.
Yeah,
and that means that it actually has a good chance of being good, because no one's going to pay too much attention to it and ruin it.
That's my hope, anyway. They're ruining the other stuff so much.
As far as Red Dwarf, though, I have high hopes for it. Like I said, I'm not the biggest fan in the group here, but I think I'm going to get back into it, and maybe Mecca can talk Rob into watching some, and maybe we'll do some. Let us know what you think in the comments. Maybe we'll do some roundtables on them. Maybe we'll go season by season or something. Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
We'll be sure to check that out. And with that, I certainly have to check out. So,
all right, let's call it a day. And we want to thank everybody out there for joining us. Hit that like button, hit the share button.
Well, do you want to keep going for the regular After Dark podcast since it's about time to start anyway?
Well, usually we do those on Fridays, but do you have?
Wednesday?
Is it Wednesday? Oh yeah, it is Wednesday.
Yeah.
Gosh, I was thinking it was. So we might as well just continue. Yeah, I forgot it was Wednesday. I was thinking it was Thursday for some reason. My days are all out of whack.
Senior head of
gosh.
Anyway, guys, I have to be off, but thanks for having me, and everyone else, thanks for joining, and stick around for the rest of the show.
I guess,
and enjoy some Red Dwarf.
Yeah, so what else did we have in the news? Thanks, Andre, for joining us.
So that I'm very happy about.
What's that?
We finally have a release date on Peter Jackson's Beatles documentary.
Oh, that's right. Yes, I saw that earlier.
We have an Onward flop. Brie Larson's car commercial we didn't get to talk about, did we?
Oh, we didn't get to talk about that on our channel, no. Or did we?
Did we have After Dark last week? I don't know. There was updates, though. There were definitely updates since then. No, because I think they came on Monday. I don't remember. Did we talk about it?
I think we did Monday.
Well, now it's the most downvoted, and she had that really cringe apology, though. We should watch that. It's fun.
She apologized for something?
Well, it wasn't an apology. It was that explanation where she's like, the universe is female, and this is about sisterhood and barging in. And I need to hear Rob rant about this, because we talked about this on the High Council last night. We got to have Rob rant about this.
The universe is not female. It's not male. It's not female. As the great philosopher George Carlin once said, it doesn't punish, it doesn't reward, it doesn't judge.
It just is.
It is. And so are we for a little while. It just is. And that's the best explanation. Shut up. Yeah, Annabelle Morales Sanchez. I apologize to people. For God's sake, you're making a car commercial. You're not curing cancer, you dimwit. For God's sake, somebody shove a cock in her mouth to shut her up. My God.
It's not even a good car. And like, this is so massively downvoted. They're
Never
both
compromised.
massively. Here you go. Here's a link to it.
Never.
Well, that's a link to her explanation. You got to go word by word in this because she goes, I see people in this a little bit.
I just see people.
Compromise. Is a compromise.
It's something like what is it? I can't even remember. It's all this nonsense of like being it's like the being aware of your environment makes you an expert on your surroundings or something. It's another one of those. Just people are like, oh my God, is she in a cult? You got to play the.
She is a fucking cult.
I know. Well, that's why your people are people or followers.
I am on set of a commercial for the Nissan.
All right, hit pause a second. Hold on, that smile. Hit pause a second.
It's the Brissan.
It's the Brissan. Yeah, the Brissan Sentra.
Brissan. I told them to give me a free one in exchange for some.
Oh, that's a good picture right there. Look at that.
Look at that. She has the crazy eyes. She has crazy eyes.
That's what we call a plastic smile.
She's a crazy girlfriend that's going to stab you in the middle of the night. Unbelievable. All right, let's go.
Sentra.
So one of our first conversations, we introduced the idea of compromises, and that's what we felt was important about the Sentra. You don't have.
One of our first conversations? Do you mean she's had more than one with her? How could you stand to be in the same room?
I don't even think that she has her driver's license.
Probably not.
I'm curious if she does.
Come on. As soon as she started making money, there's no way she's driving herself.
Well, she's always been.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
7. She was in the public eye.
She's always been a princess who never, had people dote on her hand and foot.
That's what I'm saying. I would be very surprised if she actually has a driver's license.
Compromise, styling, or
but they got her fucking driving.
This amazing package. What was it about the idea of no compromises that resonated with you?
The fact that I was pitched this concept that on the surface, just looking at the ad itself, that it is about sisterhood, pumping each other up, community, and allowing each other to have the opportunity to
sisterhood. You can buy me that card in, Bree. Yeah, hey, help a sister out who doesn't have it. Who needs one?
Sisterhood, it's a car commercial. What is sisterhood having to do with buying a car?
I just see people.
Because she's gonna buy one for me. That's what. Who's that for, me or him?
Oh,
Bree.
God's sake.
No, that's my Bree one. I got to put Bree's face on there, though. I keep
What's
forgetting.
What's up, Needed Infinity? All right, resume.
Feels like the first step with all of this. It's like you can't be what you can't see, and so I think actually
that's it.
You can't be what you can't see.
You can't be what you can't see. Oh my God.
Oh my God! You can't be what you can't see, and I see a Nissan Sentra, so I want to be a Nissan Sentra.
No, with that kind of mentality, you'd never have astronauts.
Yeah,
doctors,
somebody had to be the first.
Teachers, poets.
Somebody was the first. You gotta dream it. Don't dream it, be it. How about
I was gonna say,
wouldn't
it be better to strive to be the first woman to be something instead of,
Yeah.
Just being the 10th woman to be something?
Yeah, Matt G sent us $2. Can you imagine Bree at the DMV worse than The Last Jedi? I just lost my license.
Why isn't a woman waiting on me?
Wait till she gets it. I came in so prepared with all the stuff that he needed, and you're not giving me my license.
well, we've done 3 movies together.
Uh-huh.
Is she high?
Probably.
Yeah, she's
someone's journey
she's high.
in disbelief into belief is a powerful image.
Was there a pivotal moment or event in your life that kind of where you transitioned into this idea of no compromise?
There was a moment
transitioned into this idea in your life that kind of where you transitioned to events in your life that
is a powerful image. His journey in disbelief into belief is a powerful image.
Was there a pivotal moment or event in your life that kind of where you transitioned into this idea of no compromise?
There was a moment where I remember going in on my 10,000th audition, going in and being prepared and having what I felt like was all the credentials that I needed, and a guy on the other side of the table gave me a bad note. And I remember walking out.
Okay, right there. That's what pisses me off.
For that.
Okay, a guy on the other side of the table gave me a bad note. So some other chick got the job because I thought I was. That is the dumbest motherfucking shit I've ever heard. You stupid narcissistic bitch. That means some other woman got the fucking job. Okay? End of discussion. You stupid idiot. And I'm sorry, I'm off the handle on this one. That is literally the dumbest fucking thing she's ever said in her life.
Wow, we never get Tom yelling like that.
No, I'm sorry. She said here bitches about equality, blah, blah, blah. Blame it on some guy because you did a bad fucking job and some other woman got the job instead of you. Bravo, Bree. Bravo. You fucking came around to stupid.
Maybe you're a shit actress. You ever think of that?
I got an Oscar, you know.
I'll tell you what, you got the Oscar on the shoulders of a little boy. End of discussion. Has she had one incident where she's been nominated since? Nope.
Not being like, I don't want to be on the wrong side of the table anymore. I want to be part of the conversation. Like, I don't want to feel this distance, you know?
Yeah.
I want to have input on who's...
Anyway, I want to control everything, but guess what? You're not fucking Tom Cruise.
That's how I got the inspiration to make the unicorn star.
If you make... You know, I'm sorry, Bree, but if like 20 years from now, you want to be Tom Cruise, you want to be that person, you want to be the one calling the shots and having your script writer come in and destroy the Mummy, go right a fucking head. But you have not done anything yet. Sure, you got an Oscar, but you ain't proved it to nobody. I'm sorry.
Captain Hare, $5. Damn you, Tom. You said I'd have to wait till tomorrow to start poking Rob with a stick again. I demand compensation. Get your drag out for TF on Monday.
Oh, I might. $2 for Matt G. Another $2. Thank you so much. We got to get Bree on. Oh, fuck. Oh, I'm sorry. She just pisses me off. The fucking hubris.
You and I both work in heavily male-dominated industries. Was that something that you were aware of when you first started out? And if so, did you start to change your approach in order to address that?
You know, I started so young. I started when I was 7 or 8, so I didn't have that differentiation between me and anything else, really.
Yeah, in other words, you grew up with a fucking silver spoon in your mouth, and you don't know what the real world's like.
Yep.
Okay, and I don't even like Tom Cruise, but my whole point with that rant was Tom Cruise has been in the industry for almost 40 fucking years. And yeah, he's had some flops, but I guarantee you put a movie out tomorrow that has Tom Cruise in Barbie the fucking movie, people will still fucking go.
Motherfucker had, worked his ass off to get where he is.
I don't even like him. I don't. But I can't take that away from him. He's been doing it.
Tom Cruise was in Losing It. Now go look up that movie.
Oh man, that's like Porky's. It's a Porky's ripoff, basically. If I remember right.
I remember the dirty song the guy actually sang in it. American kids come over the border. The wallets get thinner and the dicks get shorter. Knock knock. Who's there? Tijuana who? Do you want to bring your mother to the gangbang? That's
older and having
a screw.
Just so much dedicated time in one field that you start to look around and go, wait, why am I the only one like me? And it's now become my passion, not just for the representation on screen, but to also feel like I'm on a set that reflects the world that I live in.
And also the impact that you can have from that.
Nobody lives in the
Sure.
fucking world you live in. You're a
And that's
rich,
the
privileged
goal.
actress. You make more money on this car commercial than I ever will in my fucking life. And Nissan, if they want to make good on the downvotes on this car, because they're going to lose a lot of business, then they need to actually just, you know what, hand over a Nissan Sentra to me. I will give them a review of it. They'll get some good press. Because they're hiring this rich, spoiled bitch that basically got the other woman fired in the commercial itself by telling her to go in and demand a promotion that she might not have deserved.
Oh my God, look at this.
Yeah, massively downvoted. The original, and that's the
You went full
explanation. That's not in
Gillette.
the commercial.
Never go full Gillette.
Yeah, they went full Gillette.
You'll see one of my comments on there somewhere.
Gillette, only we can get an L as this big sucker's Nissan. Hold my car keys.
Is there a way to search for a particular comment? Or?
Well, you used to go into your own.
Why, do you have one in there that you put on there?
I did put a comment on there somewhere.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's just, I'm so insulted. Not only do you hire some rich bitch that makes more on this car commercial than I will ever see in a life, telling me not to compromise. She also is sitting there saying, "No, I want to see more of these rich bitches on."
Oh, they get more than
nobody
paid,
else like me in Hollywood.
They get more than
that
paid
in Hollywood. You dumb bitch. Oh,
well,
they get free cars and shit out of this crap. You do
They
realize
do.
that,
Yeah.
right?
so like they can send me one. Shit, all this did was make me go car
I
shopping.
love you, Bree.
Not
After
for
how
fucking
many?
Nissan, I'll tell you that.
Nice try, Tesla. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, and YouTube deleted the comments on the last one on the actual. Here, did you?
Yeah,
see the actual commercial?
I want to see the actual commercial because I've actually, to be
here you
honest
go.
with you,
you
never
go.
sat through the whole commercial. But we
All
need
right,
to
let me
finish
link
this
it in-
first.
I'll link it
Was
in-
there any more of this, or did we really?
Yeah,
wanna-
she goes on about how the universe is female, and
Oh, we'll get back to this. Let's. They're already gonna get
Commercial, then
mad
we'll
at
come
us. Yeah, they're
Okay.
already gonna get mad at us. The YouTube guys.
actually, I used
so-
the whole thing. It's fine. Like
Oh, did you?
we're talking over it and providing commentary. We're not just
It's
showing it from beginning
unbelievable.
to end.
Okay, well, here's what started the whole thing, and this thing has got. Oh God, the dislike ratio on this thing is worse.
Yeah, and they've disabled comments on that one.
Yeah, this is the one that they disabled comments on. Let me get this up here. All new Nissan refuse to compromise. That they had to explain by Brie Larson. That's the funny part, is that they had to do that. That was the one we were just watching.
They probably knew on purpose that it was going to be controversial.
The funny thing is though, is that the Nissan Sentra is the compromise. That's what you get when you don't want a Toyota Corolla.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to hold on promoting you this quarter. Cool?
Drop the taco. Get in the car. Does this Sentra feel
All right,
like
that's
compromise to
kidnapping
you?
right
Wait,
there.
what?
Okay, let's just say fuck her career.
Yeah, fuck her career. Now you just got her fired for leaving her during a business lunch. Yeah.
And she's a
Handling, it's good, right?
woman,
What are you saying, Rob?
and she's eating a taco. She's clearly a Hispanic woman, and now you're showing her eating a taco. Hey, that is some stereotyping, racist stereotyping right there. Okay.
No compromise
Women
there.
like
Nope.
tacos.
Watch this.
And oh,
We're out of
women, you're so
So if
That's
this
right.
Nissan Sentra is going to compromise, why should you? You're right.
Atta girl.
The all-new Nissan Sentra with more standard safety
Notice they don't show what happens at the end there.
features than any other car in its class.
you're fired.
I'm sorry, I can't accept that. Well, I'm sorry, we can't. I'll accept your resignation. That's about it. 'Cause
Right?
you're not getting the fucking promotion, period. You know, because evidently you didn't deserve it. Or maybe you did, but
That's
you just
like-
didn't get it this time around. That happens, you know.
Maybe your performance wasn't that good.
Maybe you're not dressed professionally. You're there wearing mom jeans and a fucking ponytail and your grandma's blouse and a fucking blazer you got at Goodwill.
You know what she should have
Or-
said? You know what? If I don't just shut up, I'm gonna have to sit here and drive a Brissan because I can't afford a Lincoln now.
Yeah.
Well, it's, you never know what the impact will be, but I have good intentions.
If
Road
you-
to hell.
We know what the impact will be.
Nissan's been struggling the last couple years. Actually, sales of the Sentra have like fallen off by 50,000 units.
We looked it up last night, Jeff. They came in 20th place in the top selling cars.
Hey,
Sentra?
Martha's cute.
Well, just
Oh,
their
Martha's
their
touring.
first time they showed up on the list. Anyway, I don't remember what it was, but I think it was a Sentra.
The Sentra or just Nissan in general?
No, it was one of their cars, but out of all the top sold cars in America, they didn't pop up on the list until 20.
Run, Nissan, run away from her as fast as you can.
I don't think they can afford to lose the $8 billion that Gillette lost. And not only did they go full Gillette, they brought in the
If you were
fucking
to give any advice
spokesperson
to
for
your
this
younger
shit.
self, what would it be? I love
They
this.
brought in Captain People.
I mean, it's kind of twofold. It's just like, first of all, stress less because you're exactly where you need to be. Yeah.
And there we go. There's a white guy. He's running the camera. There's a white guy.
White guy right
Well,
there.
not quite white guy, but still. A bunch of white men doing all the work. And all I see is the actresses standing around.
So hard.
Our
I
buddy
still
Tim.
struggle with that.
It's so hard.
Tom, we got a super chat. You know who? $9.99 Mexican Iron Man. Rob, have no fear. Your ex-Mexican Iron Man is here. On behalf of my people, that commercial is deemed racist, and Mexican Iron Man does not approve of that commercial, nor that taco.
I don't even think that was a taco. I'll be honest. It didn't look like any taco I ever seen, but anyway.
Now it's taco is a euphemism for a certain lady bits. You know that. So what Bree is saying is drop her lady bits. She's so ashamed. She's so ashamed of being a woman, demanding her sister drop her lady bits.
Oh my goodness! And by the way, folks, Annie Trekker is not joining us tonight because him and the wifey have a date night or something going on. So
Still, I still have a hard time. But as much as we can just believe and not fight our reality. And I just think the universe is very funny. And sometimes it just takes it a couple years to get to the punchline.
This was the one that really...
I still have a hard time because you're exactly where you need to be. And it's so hard and I still struggle with that. I still have a hard time. But as much as we can just believe and not fight our reality. And I just think the universe is very funny. And sometimes it just takes it a couple years to get to the punchline, but she's getting to it.
It takes
the universe is a woman playing jokes on you.
Out! What the? Cheech and Chong can't even understand what the fuck you're talking about. That's some heavy shit, man. I don't know what the fuck she's saying, man. I don't understand.
Hey man, I want the key. Got the key.
I put up on a hippie podcast where we talk about this shit all the time.
Hey man, I got the key.
I don't know what the fuck the key is, man. She's on some heavy LSD, though. I'll tell you that.
Oh fuck!
And what do I always say about Brie Larson? She's the worst kind of stupid person because she thinks she's smart.
I don't even know what the fuck she just said. Wait a minute. Let's go back. Because is it just me or is this complete and utter motherfucking nonsense?
I mean, it's kind of twofold. It's just like, first of all, stress less because you're exactly where you need to be. And it's so hard and I still struggle with that. I still have a hard time. But as much as we can just believe and not fight our reality. And I just think the universe is very funny. And sometimes it just takes it a couple years to get to the punchline, but she's getting to it.
No, the punchline's right here, lady. Right here. And the other one's worse.
Disabled comments is the punchline. I know, Talia.
Is there anybody in the chat who understands what the fuck she's saying?
I do. You kind of have to not stress out about the little shit. You're exactly where you need to be in life. The universe doesn't give you more than you can handle. You can't change what is out of your control. Shit like that. I get it. I get what she's trying to say. And that the universe sometimes has a sense of humor and sometimes it'll play a joke on you. And that's that's the way I see Brie Larson, as the giant joke that is the gift that keeps on giving, is the universe. And of course I'm a little bit out of my mind sometimes.
I don't even think that's it. Well, the last part maybe, but I don't even think she really knows what she's saying because everything she's saying is kind of going against the grain of what she tells that lady in the commercial.
It's double talk. It's just double talk. It's a bunch of bullshit double talk to make it sound smarter than she is.
Smarter than she actually is.
Let's go get drunk.
I feel sorry for whoever tried to edit that mess.
It takes time, but you have to trust that it will get there. Yeah. It's the idea that it's not about this perfect destination. It's actually about what happens along the way.
My job and the thing that I love is depicting the human experience, and I can't imagine if that experience would have been cut short earlier.
And it's kind of amazing how the universe lets you know that. And it's only till you have a little bit of where you're able to look in the rearview mirror a little bit that you realize what that plan was.
Oh, I like that plan.
Yeah.
Look back in that rearview mirror.
Back in that.
Yeah.
All automotive.
$8 billion.
And remember, no compromise.
And remember, Gillette lost $8 billion.
No, billion. That's billion with a B.
Billion. Billion.
Billion.
And Gillette was on the top of their game because, like what you were just saying before, Rob, they aren't exactly at the top of the game in the car industry.
No, their car's not even that great.
You know how much so far since running that ad Nissan has lost?
2716057.
Actually, do they have a stock? Let's look up Nissan stock.
Oh, everybody's taking a beating today.
You get a Brissan, and you get a Brissan, and you get a Brissan. Except for you, you don't. You're a white male.
All right. Screen share. Let's screen share.
Okay.
Oh, look at that plunge.
It went up. It went up yesterday. Back down.
It went up yesterday?
Yeah. Here, let's go the past 5 days. This is when, yeah, so it was down.
What was that spike? What was that spike down? That
Tuesday,
way
March 10th. It looks like right the day that the day after the commercial was released.
The market recovered and then fell right off.
No, but where was it? See that big dip? Like where was that? Yeah, that
this one, Friday, March 6th.
Yeah.
Okay, when did they drop the commercial?
Did that commercial come out? March 8th is the day the car commercial came out.
Okay.
So
that's quarterly. Okay, a little bit recovered. Okay, a little bit dip again. Went up and then right back down.
March 9th, it went down again more though.
Okay, so they probably announced the new Nissan right there where that spike is.
It is here. Sunday, yeah, it was here, and then boom, right back down again. And then it went up a little bit, probably because people are talking about it. They probably noticed all the paired analytics. Oh, we got a viral video on our hands. Oh, but it's massively downvoted, and Brie Larson back down again. Looks like it's leveling off a little there, but you know.
Yeah, well, look, it's starting to go. It leveled off. It came back up, leveled off, not nearly where it was over here, over when it first tanked, but
that first dip, yeah, is probably that.
It's aggressively going down. It's still going on a downward, back on a downward trend here.
Anyway, Nikki D sent us a $5 super chat.
Nikki D, $5 super chat.
Yeah, Friday was at 8, and then it just dropped massively.
Tom's Frank Marshall and Brie Larson are spot on.
It's because the universe will do what I tell it to.
I can't even get Frank. I can't even get Frank to do what I tell him to. That face.
I know. I need a hat. I need me an Indiana Jones hat.
There must be Indiana Jones too.
I looked for one. I couldn't find a PNG of one that would fit.
You know that scene in Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom where they stick their hand in the hole and it's full of the bugs and all that other crap.
All that creepy crawly stuff.
And all that creepy crawly stuff. That's me doing a euphemism for my first date with Kathy.
Oh, Frank, you always told me my privates were a treasure.
Oh, hell no. It was like a bunch of bugs and creepy crawlies.
$5, Captain Hare.
This is a tangent because I've missed the last few Picard roundtables. Did Troy hit on Picard in her cameo? Or did she fail as Loxana's heiress? No, she didn't. But she said, "Oh, Picard, something wrong."
Actually, we haven't done too many Picard round tables because Andre is a little behind, but I think we're going to catch up this week, hopefully.
Oh boy, it's going to get worse. Should we discuss that leak?
What leak?
The leak from my privates, Frank.
Oh, I told you go see a doctor about that years ago.
Frank, you were messing around with a Filipino whore, haven't you?
I don't know where the fuck she's from. She could be from the Congo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Was there any more news? There was that Picard leak, but do we believe it or not? I think you did a video about it, right?
I want to believe it. It seems so funny.
I don't want to believe it either, but it sounds so stupid. I'm like, this could be true.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised, but the one guy did leave the ship, so I don't know.
Yeah, he did leave. Okay, the leak we're talking about, Angry Mr. Flibble. He on his Twitter. If you go to his Twitter feed, you'll see
and what's his name from Red Dwarf.
Yeah. Okay. You'll see a purported script leak from the finale of Picard. In it, Rios is talking with Alice, with the drummer from, as Gary calls it, the drummer from Scott Pilgrim, Alison Pill's character, Girardi or whatever the hell her name is.
Let's call her Alice.
Annoying Alice.
Even though it's Agnes something. I don't know.
Who the fuck cares at this point? She's talking to Rios. Oh, I've never felt it this way since Bruce died. I'm like, you killed Bruce. Yeah, you obviously didn't love him that much. But so it's, he says mierda, which is Spanish for shit.
Actually, I think it's French.
Who cares at this point? They don't even know what it is. And so I have to tell you something. And he says, computer disable emergency command hologram. And it turns out he's a hologram. And the first thought that crossed my mind is, wait a minute, if he's a hologram, if Rios is a hologram, then how did he beam down to Space Vegas? Robert Orci's working on Spider-Man again?
Yeah, I remember seeing that. We'll talk about that too. I'll get that up.
But that is
that could be a hologram. It could just be the command hologram just that she slept with just for like a minute.
Yeah, but supposedly Rios sacrifices himself in some way.
Yeah.
Could be. Again, like I said.
Well, I think Rios sacrificing himself was in the original leaks.
Yeah.
That's true. Oh, I forgot about that.
Where's the original leaks? Can we pull those up? And like I said,
God, I don't even know where they're at. I'd have to look for them.
So dumb that I think there's a possibility it could be true.
Maybe, but then that leaves a lot of like questions, and that's all the show is. I'm sick of asking questions.
When did Alex Kurtzman ever leave anything that didn't have loose ends?
That's the problem. Like they make so many mistakes, so many little logic mistakes in their own show that, when you hear something like this, it's perfectly plausible to think, wait a minute, but then how did he leave the ship? Because there's so many little things like, but wait a minute. It's one of those shows that are so filled with plot holes. They're not consistent in their own canon. I mean, look at this. How did the medical hologram not know that Alison Pill's character killed what's his name, Maddox? How did because he saw her going in to attempt to kill him, to be there. Why didn't he say, oh yeah, well, the last person was here, let's see what happened? They have the technology where they can scan a room and recreate it. I mean, what they're not gonna at least say, hey, why did he die? His heart just stopped. Oh well, dum-de-dum-de-dum, shove him out the airlock. I mean, Did nobody ask any questions
No
about it? Did I just miss that
No
episode?
autopsy.
Did I just
Hey,
zone
this
out?
guy was
I'm sure they probably covered it, and it's probably like if we had an anti-checker, it'd be like, actually, they said this in this episode, and if you paid attention, and that's the problem is you can't pay attention. It's so boring.
Yes.
He throws himself on the writer's pen. There was no scar on his shoulder in that scene. I'm looking in the chat to see.
It's oh my god.
So there's so
like I
many
said,
plot holes
just-
in your own show that like when you hear a leak like this, it's perfectly plausible, which is sad.
Picard one leaks.
Now, is this from the same person who leaked last week's show, or is this a different person?
Well, we don't know. These are just keep in mind, take them with grains of salt that these are just popping up online in places and people are pulling them up. So that's what we always say, you know, they're for entertainment purposes, they're for speculation. They're not to be treated as anything more than just a rumor. But
Turns out a lot of these are true though.
yeah, pretty much every single one has been true that I've done a video on anyway. Because I didn't do the video on the one where I guess Kurtzman punched a TV or something. That one I didn't do, but I did say even in the one where with Seth MacFarlane buying the production, I'm like, this is not happening. This can't be happening. This one's not true.
Like I said, this is so idiotic. This is so idiotically dumb. It could very well be true. I pulled up. Hold on. Yada yada yada. Hugh's working on the Romulan board. Round's been dismantling the cube's tech weapons. Hugh's been in charge of rehabilitation. 7 joins a group called the Fenris Rangers. She's campaign for Starfleet to take a more active role in rescuing the Borg, but they've ignored her. They're like freedom fighters. Initially Borg drones, but eventually helping more refugees. Narada was augmented with Borg tech scavenged from the cube, which is why it's so massive effed up. I have no idea how mining a ship is the best choice for tech, but whatever. Maddox is initially portrayed as sympathetically by Dodge, and we're led to believe he's a Soong-like figure. He's kind of like Wizard of Oz. Everyone sure needs to find, but he's nothing like they expect. Okay, hold on. Where's more leaks here? Hold on. Son of a bitch. Check back tomorrow. Okay, where is... Let's see. Son of a monkey, where the heck did it go?
What the hell is wrong with you people?
Okay. Yada yada. Come on, this thing. I can't say how Twitter just kind of bounces around on you, you know? It keeps updating. Oh God, that's not it.
Watch Rob as he surfs for porn on his ancient internet from 700 years ago. He's never gonna fix it. He'll be moving out here before he fixes it.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah, probably.
Star Trek Disaster at CBS All Access offer leaks. Alleged script leaks. Picard reveals the true nature of Rios. Okay, hold on. Yada yada. Yada yada.
Well, Rios isn't even that interesting. Like pretty much any time they're back on that little ship or back on like the Borg cube, I just zone out. It's so uninteresting. I don't care about any of these characters. They haven't clicked with me for sure. I mean, I don't care what happens to them. I don't care if Rafi gets her son back because, frankly, lazy bitch shouldn't be blaming Picard for her problems anyway. The government didn't take her baby.
Government took my baby. Picard is leaving its wake-up call. Business alarm when appeared technology developed episode Dodge working Ramen relations site. I can't find one where it says Rios dies. Let's see what we got here.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I didn't even remember.
I can't remember anymore. It's been so long. Yeah,
I didn't even remember that happened.
Anyway, but it's God. I can't believe it though. It's just so dumb. This is just so freaking dumb. It's the dumbest.
I don't even want
listen,
to finish the show. Like the best one is just, oh, can we just have dinner with Riker? Can we just do that?
Yeah.
But
and nothing even happens on that episode, but it's the most Star Trek of all of them.
You gotta read this,
the whole
Rob.
thing is, I found more leaks here. Hold on. What do I gotta read? Let me see what we got. Matt G, $5. It's rumored season 2 STP might have a plot. It's a new idea. It certainly hasn't been tried yet. Robert. Yeah, you're right. It hasn't been tried yet. Okay, I found Mr. Flibble's tweet here. Hold on. Let me see what we got. Hopefully, this is not the one. Okay, Starfleet.
You know, that's the thing. He doesn't send them to me. I just follow him on Twitter because I know he's been a viewer of mine since I first started making reviews. And
yeah, here we go. Here it is. Rio sacrifices his life. Here, copy. I'll paste it into the private chat. But this has been reported on before. That's the picture here of the Rios. Yeah, Rios sacrifices his life by the end of the season, but he is survived by his EMH doppelganger, who will stay with the crew in season 2.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is probably true. Listen, everything else has been true to this point.
And that script has a watermark on it too.
As a CBS All Access watermark in 2019, so they've been shooting. We know they've been shooting that at least that long. This is just when you think they've fallen all over, when they've just completely fallen off the dumb cliff, it gets dumber.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so incredibly dumb. And you know they're patting themselves on the back. You know they're patting them. They think, oh, this is brilliant. They'll never see this coming.
This better not be porn, Rob.
Girardi, Alison Pill's character is revealed to have been born a male. She develops comedic back and forth with the EMH. That's the leak. That says he
oh, that's the one that hasn't come true yet, that she was born a male. That's the one, huh? Well, see, now she's in sickbay, and now they're actually examining her. So that'll be the next episode where he's like, yeah, he's like, did you know you were born a male? Something stupid like that. Oh God, that's what's gonna happen. What's the next episode? I forgot what's happening in the next one. Did they show us a preview? Oh yeah, it's a Vulcan Romulan chick that needs sunglasses, and the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. I don't know. They're all wearing robes and shit. Cult member shit.
I want
it's a witchcraft.
Captain Hair, $5. I want Picard to die at the end of season 1 and be replaced by CGI Patrick Stewart from X-Men Origins Wolverine. We all want that.
Yeah.
You're all waiting for me to fucking die.
Yes.
You have a penis. Had a penis.
Of course.
Well, I'm glad I'm not the one who slept with her. Hey, Rios.
I'm going to pat you on the bottom.
You didn't sleep with her?
Well, to be perfectly honest, neither of us did very much sleeping.
No.
Rob, where did you get that Green Lantern Daffy Duck from? There was an episode of Duck Dodgers in the 24th and a half century from Cartoon Network, and I googled Daffy Duck Green Lantern, and it just came up. Apparently, Duck Dodgers got Hal Jordan's laundry mixed up with his. That's how that episode. So
I look good in green.
That is an awesome picture, though. That is awesome. Two of my favorite things. Daffy Duck would be an insane Green Lantern, though.
Not a big fan of the tights.
Rights up a bit. But oh god, what else we got to talk about, Tom?
Well, it seems they didn't learn their lesson over at Sony there. A name we thought was long gone in the annals.
He's Alex Kurtzman 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
Hold it down, Rob.
Roberto Orci to write untitled Sony Marvel Universe film.
He stole your name.
Yes. Updated, and I dropped my back scratcher.
You don't need to scratch your back to read an article.
Updated 750 with additional information. Oh, you joy. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 co-writer Roberto Orci has been tapped to write an as of yet untitled Marvel film for Sony. The Rap has exclusively learned. Details about the project or which specific Marvel character will be used are currently being kept under wrap. Kraven the Hunter. It's going to be Kraven the Hunter. Anybody want to put a little make a little wager on that? I got to feel it's Kraven the Hunter. It's going to be Kraven. That's the one character they keep talking about, Kraven the Hunter. The Orci project would be part of Sony's Marvel Universe, which is not part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but does include Marvel Comics properties such as Nightwatch, Silk, Venom, Silver and Black, and Morbius the Living Vampire. While initial indications were that the character would be related to other Sony Marvel films like Venom that are connected to Spider-Man, which really aren't, but well, what can you do now? An individual with knowledge tells the Rap the property comes from a different corner of the Marvel Universe that Sony has access to. Executive Vice President Palak Patel is overseeing for Sony. Andy Serkis is currently directing the sequel to Venom. Ruben Fleischer directed the first film. Venom was a box office smash hit, which grossed $856 million worldwide during its 2008 theatrical release. And we warned you people this would happen. It started Tom Hardy as the symbiote. The actor reprised his role in the sequel, as well as Woody Harrelson starring as Carnage. Kelly Marcel, one of the screenwriters of the first film, wrote the script for the sequel. Orci's blockbuster includes yada, yada, yada. Nobody cares. He's actually worked on all Alex Kurtzman crap. Mission Impossible 3. That's a JJ joint. Fox's Fringe, Matador, Sleepy Hollow, Hawaii Five-0. It's all Alex Kurtzman shit. Alex, and he's supposed to be like a big conspiracy theorist. And that's Renee Zellweger. Right there.
This won't be a good idea. Why would they?
Because they're out of ideas. They're out of ideas. They do not.
How do these fuckers keep getting work?
Because Hollywood is a big circle jerk. Hollywood is a gigantic circle jerk. All the same names keep going round and round and round and round and round.
You're better off hiring a monkey.
Mm-hmm. You're better off just stealing somebody else's shit and reworking it. That's what they do anyway. Not that I condone that, but these people don't know what they're doing. They just keep I don't think they actually pay attention and watch the movies that they make. I think they just hire the people based on who they're friends with, and they don't actually care. It's all about, because they get paid regardless, so it doesn't matter if it flops or not. It's just how much they can schmooze out of the investors anyway. They're just losing the investors' money.
Mm-hmm.
And why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you be more than... They're more than okay spending everybody else's money. And then they bitch at us and blame us for when these movies flop.
Again, it comes back to the audience's fault.
It's like, it's not my fault that I'm not watching the movie. It's your fault for making a shit movie.
I won't mention names. Somebody on Twitter was saying the exact same. Oh, it's your fault. You're just stuck in your life where you're unhappy where you are. I'm like, how is that my fault? How's your movie? How is the movie sucking? How is a movie being terrible my fault? How? Did I write it? No. Did I direct it? No. Was I the star? No. Did I approve the script? No. Did I have anything to do with the production of the film? No. Oh, but you went in with false expectations. I go into a Spider-Man movie, I expect to see Spider-Man. Okay? I go into a Star Trek movie, I expect to see Star Trek. How about you have people fucking up pre-established brands? How about that? Oh, but Star Wars was... Blah, blah, blah. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! I'm talking now.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
It's another one of JJ's butt boys infecting Hollywood. JJ's butt boys are all over the place. Kurtzman, Reeves, Michelle Redjwan
too.
Michelle Redjwan's a butt girl, but
I was gonna say, and his women too, yeah. His wife's invested in a bunch of this shit.
His
All
son,
that little clique going in and taking it over, like Invasion of the fucking Body Snatchers.
pod people. It's the pod people.
Well, this is
And
what
they
happens.
infect everything. They infect every little bit of it with their little. They get their tendrils into everything.
It's all a sugar high too. It's all a sugar high. You get some quick success, but it never lasts, and everything peters out. There's nothing set up here for long-term success. Oh, and the studios. Oh, well, we can have a quick turnaround on Spider-Man if we hire this guy. Yeah, how did that work out? How did it work out the last time? You have a pretty short fucking memory, Sony.
Oh, but Tom Rothman's there now. He'll make it all better.
I'm sure he will. Like I said, how is it the fans' fault that you're fucking up all these franchises? It's not the fans' fault. It's your fucking fault. I had nothing to do with it. The movie is going to come. The movie is going to be released regardless if I approved it or not. I didn't ask for Amazing Spider-Man 2. I didn't ask for Amazing Spider-Man 1. I didn't ask for The Last Jedi.
I don't think anybody asked for The Last Jedi, Amazing Spider-Man, or Amazing Spider-Man 2 for that matter.
Mm-hmm. I didn't ask for a female doctor.
Or at least you didn't ask for one to be the way it is in this situation. Instead of treating it like a completely normal thing, it's just like everything else.
I didn't ask for Scrunchface. Captain Hare. Rob's only shown 75% rant so far. I need screaming 2 seconds from an aneurysm.
I don't know. I thought you were getting pretty ramped up there.
I didn't ask for a pathetic old man Picard that has nothing to do with Star Trek.
And I asked for a goddamn dune buggy, and they can't even give me that.
So how exactly is this my fault? How exactly are the fans at fault here?
Because you're asking too many questions. You're paying attention. Shut up and consume. Don't you know what's good for you? We'll tell you. No. Don't ask questions. Shut up and consume.
Plus, you're white.
Yeah, you're just a straight white dude. You don't count. Shut up and consume. Spend your money.
Yeah. Dirty white boy. Who's that? Who is that?
God dang it. I know who it is too, and I just lost it.
I don't know.
Corner.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I couldn't remember for sure though.
up, boy?
And I just heard it on like the radio the other day because like their lead singer Foreigner is supposed to be coming around or some shit like that. So they played it, and I was like, I know who sings that, but I totally drew a blank, just like always. So yeah, what else was in the news, ladies and gentlemen?
Well, we had a topic very near and dear to my heart.
Okay, Phantom Menace has sent this to us twice. I was in the bookstore today and I saw a book called The Autobiography of Jean-Luc Picard. I don't know if it means anything, but I thought you may be interested. Is this a real person or is this one of the Picard books?
Probably might be one of the Picard books. It's supposed to be a series of Picard books that.
Otherwise, if you look at the spelling, maybe there was a real person named that, and that's where they just took the name from, possibly.
There's Jean-Luc Godard. I know that. It was a filmmaker. He actually said, who was it? Was it Jean-Luc Godard? I think he actually said filmmaking is just guys taking pictures of their girlfriends.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm not making that up. It's a great quote, actually. So anyway, something that'll soothe my furrowed brow. We have a release date for the Peter Jackson Beatles documentary.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I think we talked about this a while ago, didn't we?
Oh, yeah. We talked about it a while back. And this is actually going to be let me tell you something. This is going to Peter Jackson. This is going to be something special. Peter Jackson's a fan, and he's been working on this for like 2 years. A new Beatles documentary from Lord of the Rings director Peter Jackson is on the way to be released by the Walt Disney Company. But before anyone gets particularly irate, Disney's distributing it. Okay, they're just going to make sure the film gets in theaters. The Beatles Get Back will focus on the making of the band's penultimate studio album, Let It Be, and will showcase their final concert as a band on London's Savile Row rooftop in its entirety. Read more than 50. Okay, agrees. Bill songs don't catch anymore. The film will be cut from 55 hours of unseen footage filmed by Michael Lindsay Hogg in 1969 and 140 hours of mostly unheard audio from the recording sessions. Sir Paul McCartney shared his support for the project. I'm really happy that Peter Jackson has delved deep into archives to make a film that shows the truth about the Beatles recorded together. And that's a really bad impersonation of him. The friendship and love between us comes over and reminds me of what a crazily beautiful time we had. The Beatles Get Back will reappraise footage from Let It Be, Lindsay Hogg's film originally released in 1970, following the announcement that the band was going to split up. Ringo Starr said of the upcoming film, Peter is great, and it was so cool looking at all the footage. There was hours and hours of us just laughing and playing music. It's not like the version that came out. There was a lot of joy, and I think Peter will show that. I think this version will be a lot more peace and loving. Peace and love, like we really were.
So this is kind of more like Let It Be, Ray Do.
Yeah. It's going to be completely different than Let It Be. Jackson recently released They Shall Not Grow Old, a World War I documentary which restored and colorized hours of archival footage. On The Beatles Get Back, the director said, working on this project has been a joyous discovery. I've been privileged to be a fly on the wall while the greatest band of all time works and plays and creates masterpieces. The Beatles Get Back will be released in the US and Canada on September 4th. And I saw some B-roll footage that was on the internet of some of the Let It Be sessions. And it was weird. John's playing Help, but he's got the long hair and he's, and it's around 1969 and January 1969. It's weird seeing him in that context playing one of their earlier songs.
I just hope they put Let It Be on it as like, even just for prestigious. I mean, I know it's out there, but
Let It Be is going to be re-released.
Yeah, okay, good.
Version it's going to be re-released.
Well, and I'm assuming that's probably the next one they're going to do the big box set of too.
Mm-hmm.
because they've kind of been going in an odd order. Because you remember they did Sgt. Pepper first, then they did White Album, and then they did Abbey Road.
They're doing like 50th anniversaries, yeah.
Yeah, so I think Let It Be would be next. But wasn't Abbey Road released after Let It Be though? I'm confused. Or was it the other way around? Was it that way?
Abbey Road was recorded after Let It Be, but released before it.
That's why. Okay, that makes sense then. That's why they'll do it that way. But I was gonna say because I know that's the last one, but
yeah,
I was always confused on that. Just through all the. I mean, and I even have like a bunch of Beatles documentaries and stuff.
If you do manage to watch Let It Be, you'll see that some songs from Abbey Road do crop up here and there. I
watched Let It Be years ago off some VHS copy, but I think it was the only VHS copy that was ever released.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was a legit copy. I rented it from a mom and pop store. They happen to have it.
Oh yeah.
Really rough shape, but
yeah. Well, it's fortunately.
I used to rent the complete Beatles all the time too.
Oh, that's great. That's a great one. That is absolutely.
But of course, I have the Beatles anthology now, which kind of makes that one obsolete.
Yeah, this is.
Which actually is not badly priced considering on DVD. They should upgrade it for fucking Blu-ray though. I mean, but they'd probably have to redo everything.
I remember I was playing drums. Looked down. I saw Paul. He was singing. I saw John. He was playing guitar. I saw George. He too was playing guitar. I'll never forget that.
I remember I was just going ding 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 in the ping plong ding or whatever it was. Yeah.
I killed a man once. Record company said it was okay.
Yeah, if you guys don't know what we're talking about, Dana Carvey did a short-lived show on ABC, and it just happened to be at the same time the Beatles anthology came out, so there was a skit that were outtakes from the Beatles anthology. So yeah, if that bit might even be on YouTube, but
yeah, leftover Beatle memories. Yeah.
Because when it first aired, they aired it in was it 3 nights or 2 nights?
Oh God, it was like three. It was like
3 nights. Well, the original version wasn't as long as the one I have now because I had the old tape, and I remember they showed "Free as a Bird" the first night, and they showed "Real Love" the second night. But I can't remember if they had a third part, if it was just because I know they had 3 CDs to go along or 3 albums to go along with.
Yeah, 3. There were three collections to go along.
Because I have those as well, but then they released the full extended cut of the anthology, which is like 10 hours long. And that's the version that's on DVD now. And it's like spread over like 8 discs.
Yeah. 50 million people tuned in to watch they had
a #1 hit off of it. Yeah.
Yeah. It was played on every station except my local top 40 dance station. It's like, I called them. I was like, hey, how come you're not playing Free as a Bird? Oh, it doesn't fit our format. I'm like, you're a top 40 station, aren't you? Yeah. This is the #1 record in the country. Oh, but it doesn't fit our format.
I would actually argue that Real Love's the better song.
Yeah, it is. There's a couple parts in the middle though, where of Free as a Bird though. Whatever happened to?
And see, that's the shit that Paul added.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Have you ever heard the original version of Free as a Bird from John?
Yeah, I heard. It's actually kind of a.
It's only like a minute and a half. It's just that main part of it, basically. Yeah.
Pete Best got paid $10 million for his story.
Wow.
Yeah, here's a guy. I'm like, he's had to live with being the guy got kicked out of the Beatles for like 40 years, 30 years. Up to
what the hell was the name of Eddie Murphy's character where he said he was a fifth Beatle? I'm trying to think.
Clarence Walker. Yeah.
They cut me out of that shit, man.
It was gone. All right.
She loves you. Yeah.
She loves you, man. She got a ticket to ride. She got a ticket to ride. The bitch don't care, man.
The ticket to ride used to be she got a ticket to ride and bitch don't care.
Still use Afro Sheen because of me.
I came up with everything. The clothes, the haircuts, everything.
Let's play this backwards. Hey, Paul, let's kick out Clarence and steal all his good ideas.
See?
I told you.
I don't remember any saxophone on the early Beatles, right? That's because they cut me out.
it was most of the sax. It was gone. That's a great sketch.
That's a great bit. I love that bit.
Oh man, back when SNL was
I'm surprised they got away with a lot of the shit with Eddie Murphy when they did, because you didn't hear bitch on TV at that time and stuff like that.
No, you didn't. At least not all that often. No, you didn't hear it. No, I'm so glad the bitches. They probably paid the fine. The show's probably doing well enough that they just paid the fine.
See those footprints on the dress, boys and girls? I didn't have to take it off to get on there either.
Yeah. They oh man, so funny. But yeah, so anyway, good news for people who, like I said. So finally, my brother Dave won't have to ask me, is Let It Be out on DVD yet? Or can I watch it? Or do you have a copy I could borrow?
That's where you get the Blu-ray and you say, yes, I have it. But if you don't have a Blu-ray player, then you're shit out of luck. Then you don't have to bother giving it to them.
So how come you always want to borrow my everything? I always ask my brothers, how come you want to borrow? You all got all the good stuff. I'm like, that's right. I got all the good stuff. And you can have the good stuff too if you go to a store and buy it.
I mean, if you're a Beatles fan, I know they're a bit pricey, but those box sets are definitely worth it. I mean, you get like all the outtakes, the regular CD, and the best part is they have the 5.1 mix, surround sound mix of the albums, and you hear shit in ways you never heard it before. Like, I mean, there's stuff and bits in there that I don't ever remember hearing. I mean, and it sounds so clean and crisp, like it was just recorded yesterday and shit. It's just like different. It's like a whole new experience for the first time, kind of thing.
There's a buried. You ever see that thing, that track? There's a buried solo in Here Comes the Sun.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, there's a lot of that kind of stuff. I don't know if you hear that in the fight, but I mean, I just remember, like, I can't remember, but I was giving you like a play-by-play when I was listening to the White Album. Like, I'm like hearing voices and guitars and other things I don't ever remember hearing before.
Oh, I'm looking at Angry Mr. Flibble's Twitter thing. Sonic the Hedgehog is too disjointed to ever pick up steam. Review: Sonic the Hedgehog doesn't rock even after a new paint job. I
thought it was fine.
No, it's fine. It's not Citizen Kane, but it's good enough.
Put it up against the fucking Mario Brothers movie.
But the CBR is they're just toned. They're just being the woke.
And I mean, I get it. It's not fucking Citizen Kane like you just said, but you know what it is? It's the best of those movies like that. It's 10 times better than fucking Garfield. It's 10 times better than Chipmunks, Yogi Bear, all that other crap where you've got a CGI Scooby-Doo even written by fucking James Gunn. Even though his version was much more raunchier than the one we got on screen, but still. It was the best of those kind of movies. Yeah, it's not like a fucking Oscar-winning type movie, but you have decent special effects. Sonic looks like Sonic. Jim Carrey kills it. What's his face? Cyclops is decent. James Marsden. I like that they have the whole relationship taken care of up front. I hate it when you have I was waiting for that was what the movie was going to be about. Was he's going to have this girlfriend or wife or whatever, and she's going to end up leaving him, and he's got to spend half the movie worrying about getting her back, and it's all because of this stupid blue hedgehog kind of thing. Well, the hedgehog's trying to save the world. And you know what? It wasn't that. And I was pleasantly surprised. It wasn't a world-ending event. The only thing that was going to end was Sonic's life if Jim Carrey got his hands on him. That was really all that was at stake. And
you can't relate to those movies when they're too big and grandiose. It's like, okay, everything in the galaxy will cease to exist. Okay, so then nobody's gonna miss anything. I can't perceive of every single person in the entire universe, but I can connect with one character on screen and root for one character to not be, caught, I guess.
Right.
That's all you need it to be. That's all you need a Sonic movie to be.
Right. And as deep as James Marsden was kind of like on that, like he's being on the #1 most wanted list or whatever. That was just because of Jim Carrey's character, and everybody knew he was crazy anyway, so it didn't matter.
Oh yeah.
But no, and that's the thing is the movie worked. Sure, it's cookie cutter. Sure, we know how it's going to end. But you know what? It didn't matter. It didn't have to. It didn't have to subvert my expectations. It's a fucking Sonic the Hedgehog movie. I got exactly what I expected out of it, plus a little more because I didn't expect to think it was going to be as cute and entertaining as it was. Sonic wasn't obnoxious. There wasn't a shit ton of obnoxious poop and fart jokes. You know, it wasn't loud and in your face and a million cuts a second. It actually felt like a movie.
Yeah. You can pay attention to the action. You can pay attention to what's on screen. Like half of these fight movies, I just tune out. My mind starts to wander. That's why I don't like a lot of the superhero movies once they get to the big battles at the end. I'm like, I'm not here for this. I'm gonna zone out because there's gonna be so much shit on screen and it's all green screen anyway. I'm not gonna be able to tell what's happening anyway and see what's going on. So why do I care who's fighting who and what punch lands where? And
I feel the same way. I got that with the Transformer movies, and I'm going to get some hate for saying this, but that was my problem with the prequels. Was there was just too much shit going on. And as much as I love episode 3, I hate that first shot, because that first shot that goes on for 20 minutes and nobody cares because it's all on a computer anyway. Like, you could have cut it right up to the scene where he's fighting Dooku, and that's the way the movie could have started, and I'd been fine. And then I feel the same way at the end. It's like, to me, a lot of the oomph is taken out of the Obi-Wan Anakin fight because it goes on way too long, and it gets into the point where they're just a bunch of CG junk after a while, and it's like, okay, I forget after a while what we're even going on about. Like, I mean, you can cut most of that out as far as I'm concerned. Same thing with Man of Steel. The last fucking 20, 30 minutes or whatever, where they're just bashing through buildings and shit. It's like, okay, you get a little numb to that after a while. And I shouldn't be. You know, I should give a shit about a building falling down in a movie, you know, and I don't at this point. And that speaks to how often we see that kind of crap in these movies at nausea.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know, there's a Star Wars blooper reel. I mean, the whole thing is a blooper.
Yeah, the whole movie. I linked that in chat, the Star Wars blooper reel here.
Movie Web, they hate us, don't they? Doesn't Movie Web hate us?
I think so. Maybe.
Yeah, they do. They hate it.
I guess CBR hates us.
CBR hates everybody. They hate everybody who's CBR, who isn't CBR.
Mary Sue would probably hate me if they knew who I was.
Mary Sue's banned me from their comment section.
That's because you're a toxic male.
That's right. I'm toxic.
Those sexist little bitches over there don't like men.
That's right. Wait a minute. There's an Austin Powers. There's Austin Powers news. Austin Powers 4 update arrives from director Jay Roach, who is married to Susanna Hoffs. Giggity. It's been nearly 2 decades since we last saw International Man of Mystery grace the big screen, but Austin Powers 4 is still in the cards. While nothing officially is in the works yet, don't tease me like that. Come on. It's something director Jay Roach and Mike Myers discuss frequently, and it's just a matter of time and hammering out the right story. That would indeed be groovy, baby. We have the story, Tom. We have the story.
Yes, we do.
I recently had the chance to speak with Jay Roach in honor of his latest movie, Bombshell, which recently arrived on Blu-ray, which nobody saw. During the conversation, I asked Roach about Austin Powers 4, given I personally feel the James Bond spoof would fit in well today's political climate. Here's what Roach had to say about it. We talk about it once a month, but until we know what it specifically wants to be, we talk about once, but until we know what it specifically wants to be, I don't disagree. There is a classic battle in the Austin films that of sort of this makes no fucking sense. That sort of love versus fear and paranoia, and color versus colorlessness, and music versus fear. Dr. Evil, there are some aspects of speak in a complete sentence, please. There are some aspects of the way the world works right now that seem very Dr. Evil-y to me. I'll just put it that way. But no, we don't have a specific plan for anything right now. Bummer. Talk of Austin Powers 4 has been going on roughly a decade. The last movie in the series, Austin Powers Goldmember, hit theaters back in 2002. Mike Myers, in the years since, has had success as the voice behind the Shrek franchise and has starred selectively in movies such as The Love Guru, that's the one you bring up, Inglourious Bastards, and Bohemian Rhapsody. Speaking further, Jay Roach said he's rooting for it to come back, but ultimately it's going to be up to Myers. I root for it too. I root for it to come back, and so does Mike. We all have for a long time. It's always been when the right story comes up, we just know what it is, and that's pretty much up to Mike. Mike Myers wrote all 3 movies and starred in the as the Shadow Spy, Austin Powers. Myers also played several of the key characters, including Dr. Evil, Fat Bastard, and yada yada yada. Goldmember left the door open for more, as Seth Green's Scott Evil had essentially taken up his father's mantle, vowing to get revenge on Austin. Okay, and yada 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 yada. Okay, but come on, come on. You know, you made the Love Guru.
Well, there's some big whole behind the scenes bunch of bullshit that has to do with Austin Powers and one of the original producers, and something about pissed off Mike Myers, so he said he'd never work with them again or make another Austin Power movie or anything like that.
Okay. So that's why. It's not just he's still pissed off at the Love Guru bombed.
No, he went and did the Love Guru instead of Austin Powers 4. Yeah, because they were going to do an Austin Powers 4 and he backed out. And I think it had some also to do with Sprocket. Like the producer was pissed over Sprocket because there was supposed to be a Sprocket movie that Mike Myers didn't like the script. And he notoriously, this is the thing, is notoriously he's had a lot of his scripts rewritten over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
To the point where he'll do it like just before they get to the set and he'll start improvising and doing shit and nobody knows what's going on. Which it kind of started to show between Cat in the Hat and the Love Guru. Sorry you like the Love Guru, Jesse, but yeah, I mean, you can kind of tell between those 2 movies, they let him go just way too far.
Well, the Love Guru has parts of it that are okay, but it's not Austin Powers. Come on.
No, let's face it, the Love Guru was just what it was. A pretentious fucking movie that Mike Myers thought he was funny because he was just being Mike Myers.
I thought it was clever, though. The Guide to Intimacy, or Into Me I See. Yeah, I thought that was kind of clever, but
yeah, that's kind of what I was saying. This is kind of also, I guess, why he doesn't work much anymore. Is I guess he's one of those people that was very notorious for being hard to work with. Like, okay, there's the famous story. Do you know about Dana Carvey? He almost wasn't in Wayne's World, right?
Yeah, I've heard that story.
Like he just like, because like Mike Myers just assumed that Dana Carvey was going to be in it, and Dana Carvey assumed, yeah, great, you know, they were doing a movie. Well, he gets the script and he says, I don't like it. And Mike Myers is like, well, what do you mean you don't like it? He's like, I don't like it. There's nothing in here for Garth to do. He's just there. And I'm sorry, I'm not just going to sit there and no. And I guess Mike got all pissed about it, but then they rewrote it and got Dana on board. But I guess there was almost a point where they had thought about recasting. And Mike Myers was okay with that, I guess. But then I think what's his face? Lorne Michaels, I think, was the one who stepped in and said, oh, no, you can't do that or something like that. I don't know the whole story, but I've heard like Dana's side of it and I've heard other bits about it. But yeah, he was totally ready to walk away because he just felt like he was useless in the movie. Oh, yeah. And I think that's the other thing, too, is I think he offered him Dr. Evil and he turned it down, too, possibly.
Oh, come on. I don't think it would have worked with Dana Carvey. Also, phenomenally best remake. Honestly, wouldn't be surprised if it had somebody saying, somebody who's connected to Manabite is saying Mulan was phenomenal. Definitely the best remake, and honestly, wouldn't be surprised if it had Oscar push at the end of the year. Come on, I doubt that. Come on, really? Listen, I know everybody wants to show, oh, just look at me, I'm supporting something that's diverse, but come on.
Oh, I don't know about this, Christian. I believe every single copy of The Cat in the Hat should be burned and never spoke of again. It's even worse than that. Oh. Whew.
Well, what was the inspiration behind The Cat in the Hat? Just Jim Carrey did The Grinch, let's do Cat in the Hat?
Yeah, pretty much. And it should have been like this. You should have let Tim Burton direct fucking How the Grinch Stole Christmas. And you should have let Ron Howard direct The Cat in the Hat.
With Danny Elfman scoring.
But what you ended up having was Bo Welch, who is Danny Elfman's production designer, directing Cat in the Hat. And you got Ron Howard directing The Grinch. Go figure.
Yeah.
Hey, Stieg.
Hello there.
Yeah, that was well, if that's what you meant. Yeah, Myers ripped off the Dr. Evil voice from Carrie, but what it was Dana Carvey. I mean, Dana Carvey's. It was his impersonation of Lorne Michaels, is what it was.
Yeah, boy. All right.
I'm not talking about the book. I'm talking about the movie. Just the movie.
Yeah. Anything else happening, or
no? I think we covered it all. I think we stretched her into a pretty good show there.
I just had to ask Tom. Have you ever seen Raise the Titanic?
I've heard of it. I'm trying to remember if I've actually seen it though.
That was the first Clive Cussler novel ever turned into a movie, starring Richard Jordan and Jason Robards. And that was the movie. And I heard about this. And Clive Cussler, you've never read any Clive Cussler's novels, have you?
No, but I'm well aware of them.
Okay. You've seen Sahara, haven't you?
Unfortunately.
Okay. No, actually, Sahara's
I didn't care for it, but I know you said it was a decent adaptation.
Yeah. You know, I had read recently that the whole thing about Clive Cussler, he always his novels were very over the top adventure. And this I just read this recently because I always say one of my favorite movies is Raiders of the Lost Ark. After Raise the Titanic came out, Clive Cussler, he went to go see Raiders of the Lost Ark. He said, I almost cried. Because that is what he had always envisioned for one of his books being turned into a movie. It just seems so weird that the guy who was doing it before, he couldn't get anything like that made. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just kind of weird. Like I don't know if he was that far. I don't know if he was that far ahead of the curve in terms of what Hollywood.
Well, did George Lucas ever cite him as a inspiration for Indiana Jones?
I don't know. They always said it was James Bond. Let me see. Indiana Jones, George Lucas.
Well, I mean that, and he was a fan of the old, the old treasure hunting serials too. That's where Indiana Jones came from as well.
Yeah.
But here's some revisionist history for you guys, folks. You know how Lucas will always say he watched those serials in theaters and shit? No, he didn't. He watched them on TV.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But, anyway, well, like George Lucas, he borrowed from a lot of different places. So, Kurosawa.
I mean, I didn't hate the movie, but here's my thing at the time. You got to remember, I was in a major fucking hate Eisner point at that point, and his son fucking directing that movie to me was like nepotism to the extreme.
Breck Eisner, yeah. Breck Eisner. Why do I have who text messaging me? But anyway, Breck
that was
Eisner,
your phone. I thought that was a cat. I'm like, when did you get a cat?
Bang, yeah.
It sounded like a cat for a second there.
The bong I hear is completely different because of the speaker than the bong actually sounds like, which is weird. Because
welcome to the world of phones.
Yeah.
No, his phone's got a particularly shitty
speaker.
really bad speaker on it. Like you think
And
a
that's
phone speaker's bad. No, his is like, wow, is it broken? It's so bad.
Yeah, and that's just a quirk of of a lot of Motorola phones too. That's the thing.
Who the crap buys a Motorola?
I do. Don't make me spank you.
So anyway, you were taking us on this adventure now for what reason?
Because I was just wondering now, like I said, because the whole Raiders of the Lost Ark thing, and we all know how KK is going to ruin Indiana Jones again. I'm just wondering if now that sadly Clive is gone, if that we have a franchise we can turn to eventually with Dirk Pitt. I mean, will that be something? Do you think? Unless his estate says no, we don't want to make any movies. Do you
If
think
Uncharted does well and stuff like that, yeah, you never know.
Because
he's always started doing that great though, because it's a video game movie.
You never know. It's got Tom Holland going for it. I mean, I'm not saying it will be any. I have not heard one thing about it, so again, I'm just speculating here. But it's a well enough known franchise with Tom Holland on board. It probably has potential to open decent, and if it's a decent movie, it could do all right. I'm not going to say it's going to make $500 million, but you never know. 300-400 at the most, maybe. That'd be pretty good for a movie like that.
Yeah, Sahara was supposed to kick off a franchise. But what happened was that they had to bribe so many people to shoot on locations in Africa. It sent the budget way, way, way over what they anticipated. It was cost like $150 million.
So you just film it in the fucking desert in Nevada.
Or Atlanta. Like you said, you find somewhere.
I mean, come on. I mean, I'm sorry, but yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, some people don't like Tom Holland in the chat, but you know what? He's a bankable name now. Spider-Man made him a bankable name, so.
Christian Garcia, Sahara, it wasn't a flop. It wasn't necessarily a flop. It did pretty well at the box office, just not enough to make that money back because, like I said, the budget had gone so high.
Oh, and speaking of that money back, I was so happy to, even though a lot of people thought Simon Pegg should shut his mouth, he gave us a lot of good shit in that interview.
Oh yeah.
He gave us you need to make 3 times the budget to make the money back. Something we've been singing for how fucking long. And I'll remind people, yeah, he's an actor, but he's also a filmmaker. So he knows his shit. He wrote the last Star Trek movie. He's very good friends with JJ. He's close to this shit. So even though he's an actor and may not be privy to everything, he's deeply invested in this crap, and he does know kind of, I think, what's going on.
Well, he knows the production aspect.
Yeah, and he does know that. Yeah,
have in the UK. I mean, he was the writer, producer, sort of.
I mean, he's made how many movies on his own too?
Yeah. Well, a lot of those with Edgar Wright. So.
I'm just saying, point being, I mean, he's involved in it. He understands how this shit works. And I love that when people involved in the industry say shit like that, because then we know it shows that we know what we're talking about. We're not stupid here. When we say a movie like this has to make 3 times their budget back, they mean that.
Well, you've got to really just figure in, okay, the box office take minus the theater cut. That's,
Yeah, which we've figured is roughly 60% on average.
Yeah, because the theater takes their money. I mean, they're not just showing it for free. They got to pay the rent too. I mean, yeah, they charge an exorbitant amount on popcorn, but they still get a cut of every movie ticket.
Right. So right off the bat, it's cut off about 60% of the money of what they say the worldwide gross is on any movie, just to be fair. And then like Mecca is going to get to the advertising, which generally for these big movies is almost as much or more than the budget sometimes, believe it or not. And you can go find that gets out there often how, multi-million-dollar budget for such movie, $100 million budget or advertising campaign or whatever. I mean, not budget.
Yeah, they're not just taking an ad out in the local newspaper for $5 or $10. They're taking out billboard. They're renting out buses. They're organizing their actors to
primetime television and stuff. Yeah.
Go and do TV shows. They'll do Graham Norton show in the UK, and they'll send the whole cast over there. The premieres are coming out of
yeah. So the actual film budget doesn't reflect all that shit. You know, and all that shit costs money, putting up your stars in hotels, feeding them. You know, that's a good point a lot of people don't bring up is, oh yeah, the advertising campaign includes sending all these actors all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And you're talking a truckload of people.
You think Brie Larson's paying for that out of her own pocket?
Oh, fuck no. That's the thing. These people are so used to getting everything for free and handed to them. That's why when people see these celebrities freaking out about not getting something for free, it's like, I'm not saying I condone it or understand it or whatever, but I understand it in the sense that that's what they're used to. They are so fucking used to getting shit handed to them for free that it just boggles their mind when they have to pay for something.
Yeah, they don't know what to do with it. They probably don't even know how to write a check.
That's why I almost half believe Winona Ryder when she said that she didn't really steal that shit. She just didn't really know what, you know, she was so used to just going in and saying, this is what I got. And then her assistant would probably take care of the shit for her. She never did any of that kind of crap, probably.
Probably not.
I mean, yeah, she's getting to the point where she was broke when that happened, but you got to remember that woman had been in a shit ton of movies and she probably had a lot of money to burn through, and a lot of people helped her spend it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Remember what I always say about Andy Pettit? Like I said, the guys, they don't know what to do. They wouldn't even know how to write a check. Andy Pettit, Yankee pitcher Andy Pettit's wife was in the hospital after she had a kid, and he got the cable bill. And he's like, he showed one of the broadcasters, says, I don't know what to do with this. He goes, Andy, write him a check. Because like I said, these guys, everybody, the athletes, celebrities, they have everything done for them.
Well, especially like athletes, I can understand too, because a lot of them, it's right out of college and shit. So they've never even experienced a lot of that kind of shit sometimes.
Yeah, and then they get a shit ton of money. So they're used to having other people handle everything for them, because you almost need to, when you have that kind of money, you need to have somebody set up, you know, this and that, and you need to set up security and publicists. And you know, I mean, look at somebody like me. Look at all the death threats and shit I get, and I'm nobody. I don't have any of that shit. Imagine just the social media account when somebody like look at Kelly Marie Tran. I'm sure it was very overwhelming for her, and that's why she deleted her social media account, is because she's getting just a million messages, and her phone's all of a sudden blowing up from going from an office worker to starring in a Star Wars movie. Yeah, we get that. And I'm sure it's very overwhelming if you're not somebody who's emotionally prepared for, you know, living and having a life and, you know, being an adult and all that stuff. So you get a lot of these people who probably don't even know how to do that anyway, because that's who was saying this? Was it Anna or somebody was saying this recently, that they never taught them how to, you know, balance a checkbook.
Right.
Do people even know what balancing a checkbook is anymore? People probably don't know that.
Oh, I'm sure they don't teach you that kind of shit.
No, because nobody even uses a checkbook to keep track of their balance.
I don't.
I haven't in 20 years. I keep track of my balance by my bank statement and by what's in the bank at the ATM when I see it, you know. And that's people don't know how to do any of that shit. Pretty much every bill is paid online. People don't even own a checkbook anymore. You can pay your debit card with pretty much everything.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm guilty of living the same kind of way, but I don't like having the checks out there to be.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, yeah.
And again, I can, and, you know, and then we were talking about Brie earlier. She says it herself. She's been in the industry since she's 8 years old. She's never had, I guarantee you, she's never ever done anything for herself outside of take a shit and maybe wipe her own ass.
Brie Larson?
That's probably the only thing she's ever done for herself.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if I wouldn't be surprised if she ain't got butt wipers.
Yeah, somebody do it for her. No, she gets a colon cleansing every other day. She doesn't even have to take a shit herself.
She just thinks her.
Yeah.
Oh well.
They want to talk about Congo.
Yeah.
We got to get Rob.
I just looked it up right here. Yeah, I just looked it up here. Sahara lost $105 million.
Yeah, and I think the budget was like what, 200 million.
Yeah, like I said, they had to keep bribing people to shoot on location. It's Breck Eisner's first film. I don't think he's ever done anything since then.
I didn't have to bribe nobody to shoot Congo.
No, you didn't?
Hell no. I just showed them the killer apes. Oh,
You had to
shit.
bribe people to keep me away, Frank. Don't you remember?
Why do you follow me everywhere?
Because I have a ring on my finger, Frank. That's why.
Mother.
It's gonna. I'll take half of your stuff, Frank. Don't forget that.
What if I take half your shit?
Go right ahead. I want to see you try. I'll just say you're a toxic man.
And?
There is no end, Frank.
That's my point. I made motherfucking Congo. Goddamn right. I didn't see you out there directing Arachnophobia. You were trouncing around in the snow making alive. I did that shit. What have you directed? Traffic.
That's all he says is Congo. Every time we make love and he orgasms, he screams Congo.
But you know what? At least I made Congo. What have you done, Kathy? What have you done?
I destroyed a 40-year-old franchise. That's what I did. In the name of women.
Well, shit, me and George do that for breakfast. What the fuck have you done?
I was the one who wanted Clint Howard in Solo. Don't you think that counts for anything, Frank?
No, because I put the monkeys in fucking Indiana Jones 5. What's your point? I can ruin a movie better than you can. I can do it so much better than you can. Anything you can do, I can do better, even Coke.
This has been At Home with Frank and Kathy.
And while we're at it, let's talk about that for a minute. Let's talk about the cocaine business because you're doing more than your fair share.
Frank, how dare you insinuate I do more coke than you?
I didn't insinuate you did more coke than me. I just said you're doing more than your fair share. I usually do this much, and I give you this much. And now you're starting to take mine, which is aggravating me. Okay? I've always done most of the coke in this household. Just because you're making Star Wars movies doesn't mean you get to do more coke. Go buy your own.
But Frank, it's 50% of mine. Don't you know that?
You didn't make Congo.
Go run off with your little Swedish whore, Frank.
You can slap your name on everything you want. But guess what? You have never directed one day in your life.
Why do you always have to bring that up, Frank? Why?
Because you think you're so freaking better than me.
I am better than you. Don't you know Ray was modeled after me? And so was Jyn Erso. And so was... Don't give me who, Frank?
I don't watch that crap. I'm busy watching Congo. I know Paramount's going to call me any day now. They need a special edition of this.
Rob, you're laughing, which indicates happiness. Cut it out. Frank, Congo 2 is not going to happen. Neither is your special edition. Don't you know that?
You know what else is not going to happen? You snorting any more of my coke. You give me that. That's mine now.
Frank, you're the reason why I didn't get that job as CEO of Disney.
What? How is that my fault?
Because you didn't support me. You're just a toxic man.
Well, maybe you should have let me direct those goddamn movies. Instead of all that stupid bullshit that was in The Last Jedi, we'd have had some killer space apes.
Killer space apes?
That's right. You put a killer gorilla in a fucking ring and you put a killer spider in the other side. Which one's coming out? You tell me. You can't answer these questions, and that's why you're not a director.
Now I'm a producer, which is much more important.
Then go produce me a fucking sandwich.
Frank, I shouldn't have to lower myself to making you a sandwich. I'm the most powerful woman in Hollywood.
Then have your fucking assistant make me a sandwich. She makes them better anyway.
Michelle, she's my protege. She was handpicked by J.J. Abrams to help me. JJ's such a good boy. Why couldn't you be more like JJ?
Because I don't like shit on my nose.
How shit on your nose? How dare you? JJ's nose is perfect.
Perfectly brown.
That's right. JJ gets it all up in there.
That snot-nosed little brat's been running around forever.
Yes, JJ. Now I have to go get JJ coffee. JJ, how do you cream or sugar? JJ pays attention to me, Frank, not like you.
Good, go pay attention to JJ. I'm busy doing cocaine watching Congo! Fucking leave me alone.
Frank, must you sit naked on the couch and watch Congo?
Well, I could put on another one of my movies, and I might.
You're just there. You're just on the couch with a big bowl of popcorn over your private parts, watching Congo.
Sure, it's popcorn.
Do you have a hole cut at the bottom of the popcorn for your little Swedish whore?
No. I don't know what she is. I don't understand why you keep insinuating she's this or that or the other. There's like 5 of them anyway.
Yeah, you told me they were all your nieces, Frank.
Did I?
Yes, you did. I have a new niece every week, apparently.
Apparently. Guess
How
what?
much? What? What, Frank?
I'm busy watching Congo. Shut the fuck up. Let's get into the good parts. God damn.
And this has been At Home with Frank and Kathy.
Oh, God. I don't know how much longer I could do that.
Call Kathleen a barren bitch.
I don't think they do have kids, to be honest with you. And yeah, I know he's directed more than Congo, but Congo's just the funniest. Yeah, he's directed like Arachnophobia Live, which I both mentioned, and Ain't Below. And yeah.
Kathleen Harris says, someone get Rob a 2-hour compilation of Mikey Spock being Mikey Spock. He's bordering on Glee. That's unacceptable. God. Oh my God. Dinner lunchtime.
Bat lunch.
Are we going to see any more animated Batman?
Oh yeah. I just got to figure out what we're going to do next.
Yeah, 2 minutes.
Got some ideas, but
2 minutes is the perfect length for those. Any more they wear out, they're welcome.
Probably, but I think we've outed our welcome here. We've gone like a half hour longer, I think, than we had planned.
Yeah, I know. You know what never wears out its welcome?
Congo.
That's right. Like, subscribe here. Like, subscribe to the main channel. Mecca, tell them about yourself. I think we lost Mecca.
I'm trying to unmute. Yeah, I lost my mouse. Holy shit.
How do you lose your mouse?
Watch my. Oh, I lost it because I've got like 20 windows. I'm car shopping. Let's get Nissan to buy me a car.
Brissan!
Because you know what? They shouldn't be giving Brie fucking Larson shit.
Where am I gonna put this one?
Yeah,
I've already got so many cars.
They should make good, and they should do. Oopsie, we're sorry. So yeah, they should send me a free car.
Congo.
Of course, they've got a 2015 Kia Soul with like no miles on it. So yeah. 40,000 miles. Holy shit.
That's
not bad.
Practically brand new. Just getting broken in.
Probably still smells new. And for as little as I'd drive it, though, that's the thing. I wouldn't drive it. I can't afford a car.
No. All right. No, donate to the Mecha Car Fund, Mecha Auto Club. So, all right. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. I don't have one yet. I could put up a GoFundMe. Then I had more people pitching at me for it.
Yeah. They're going to complain regardless.
That's true.
Yeah. So, all right, everybody. Like, subscribe here. Like, subscribe to the main channel. Like, subscribe over Mechas. That's right. And just remember, where is it?
Smoke weed every day.
I need some music, Rob.
You're going to say, wherever you go, there you are.
We'll catch you next time.
Oh, your car and a lightsaber.
How dare you talk to me that way, you third-rate tot!
You're a whore. I don't need to know what goes on in your bedroom.
I like big Asian butts.